Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Finance Bunch Presents Girl Talk. I'm your host, Charlene. Today, we will be talking to the founder of Single Moms Planet, Neferteri Plessy. She's the founder, the CEO, and also the host of Single Mom Planet Awards. Single Mom Planet Awards have been featured on shows such as Access Hollywood, Extra, and Good Morning America. Neferteri launched Single Moms Planet to educate, empower, and uplift single moms and their children. Neferteri herself has coached over 500 single parents. I can't wait to get into this conversation. Neferteri, it is so good to have you in our studio. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yes.
You know, this is a time of year that I like to have my favorite charities on, and you are definitely one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Definitely. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself.
About myself.
Yeah,
personally about
yourself, because
Okay.
because of the organization that you have, Single Moms Planet. I think sometimes the focus goes to the organization and not necessarily to you. So tell us a little bit about you.
So let me see. I was born in New Orleans,
Yes.
Louisiana. Some people call it Narlands. I know every time I say New Orleans, everyone's like, that's so proper. Grew up in Oakland, California. My mom and I relocated when I was around 4 years old, and had a really cool upbringing in Oakland. Great vibe, great city to just experience. I think at any point in life, but definitely a heartbeat for culture. A city that definitely has a pulse for the environment.
Yes.
And just everyone is just chill.
You're right. It's a different vibe than LA, right?
Oh, totally different vibe than LA. Yes. The music, we have a lot of local talent there that have also gone on to be global talent.
That's very true.
Major talent that are, it's like you walk around and you could probably see Too Short. When I was growing up, you see Tony at the restaurants that are in Jack London Square, just hanging out with their families and so just really, of course, Tupac, everybody didn't, so really a great place, an era when I grew up, which was in the 80s.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, I would say just even my mom raised me as a single mom, and just having that experience as well with her raising me in that urban environment, I think it really just gave me a lot of street smarts. Which I don't really communicate in the Single Moms Planet world, but definitely a lot of street smarts, a lot of get it done, a lot of accountability, and just really just going after your dreams. I think there's a lot of artistry in that city, from paintings to murals and culture and poems and different elements that are just really a part of my spirit and my soul.
Yeah.
And then of course, New Orleans, I would be there every summer as a child.
Oh my goodness.
And so I really felt like I got the best of,
Both
two of the
worlds.
most amazing cities in the world, really.
Right.
Not just in the US. And so, I think a lot of my upbringing really brings me to who I am today, which is someone that took a risk.
Right.
And moved to LA because I wanted to model.
Okay, the modeling brought you to
got
LA.
a modeling contract.
Oh, okay.
And I moved here when I was around 18 or 19 years old because at first I was going back and forth between both LA and Oakland.
Right.
And then once I got to LA, I just really continued to have success. And sometimes you wake up and you're working consistently, especially in the entertainment business, and then you might have a month where you don't work. So you have to really be smart with your finances. So
Absolutely.
I remember I was living in LA, Oakland, and Miami because I was also modeling in Miami. And also I was modeling in New York, but I didn't never move to New York. I was always just flown there. I don't think I could have made it in New York. It was too
That's
too
a whole
aggressive.
other.
That's a whole nother type of city. I'm not that tough. But definitely, being gone and traveling sometimes for a month at a time, I would just pay all my bills 3 months in advance because of the way that I would get paid.
Right.
I might not get a check for 3 months because the modeling agencies could book you out and not, they're contractually, they don't have to pay you for 90 days out.
Wow.
And so you're really, if I'm working in the spring, I'm really going to use that money in the summer to survive.
That's right.
Right. And so it was just better for me to just pay a lot of my bills in advance, which I still do now. A lot of my bills I pay in a year in advance.
See, now for me, that's when you work in industries like that, you either learn to budget for survival, or, you know, things can happen that you're not prepared for.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times that's what happens to people when they come here. You know, they're not prepared for the ebb and flow, you know?
Yes.
And so
definitely,
that's something that if someone were coming to LA, I would tell them, be prepared for the ebb and flow, especially if you're going to get into an industry that is more geared towards the movie or entertainment industry, because you may be out of work for a while.
It's true.
You know, you never know.
It's true.
So now you moved to LA, you became a model, and then you met someone, and eventually you got married.
Yes, I moved to LA. I became a model. I also started hosting television.
Oh, nice.
I did some movies as well. I was shooting a movie in Miami. That was the main reason why I moved to Miami. I also did some TV shows, different things like that. But my real love was always hosting and modeling. But the acting was really cool too. I think you know, you got to take it seriously. It's a little different. You have to really study what you're doing to be for me to be a real thespian or a real actress.
Definitely.
But yeah, God met a really amazing guy through a friend of ours, a mutual friend. He connected us, and we got married. We had 2 little boys.
Right, your handsome sons.
2 little handsome boys. They are really handsome.
They really are, and so sweet.
They're
Gentlemen.
so sweet. They are really well-mannered little boys.
They are.
They're little boys, though. They're a little rough. You know, one of them is an action hero. But but overall, you know, we got married. We had the 2 boys. It didn't work out, and we got divorced. And that was one of the reasons why I started Single Moms Planet.
Right.
You know, besides my mother raising me as a single mom, those 2 things were the pillars for the organization being birthed.
Now, I want to pause right there, because when, you know, we talk about Single Moms Planet, I always wondered, because I'm a single parent also, right?
Yeah.
I'm a single mom, and I wanted some place always to have the support, like I could group together with other moms and take my kids places. And so I was lucky enough to find a group of women who we did that for each other. We babysat for each other. We helped with each other's children and all that. But when you look at it, that was just like a small set. And you find these little small sets all over the place. But what made you decide this is an organization that I need to start? Because, you know, people do it, you know, like in their own little subsets, but it's never like a complete organization that speaks to that. What made you decide that?
You know, that's so interesting. So I was really in a survival mode after my divorce. And really, I would even say the divorce took years. It wasn't something that happens overnight.
No, it's not.
I think the courts are slow with certain things, and you're kind of trying to figure out, you know, do I really want to do this? You know, what are we really, or is this really over?
Right.
That type of conversation is happening. Sometimes that could take a year or 2 years just to have that conversation.
Exactly.
And so once we really decided that this is really over, we got into the mode of, you know, us being in separate households,
right.
You know, and we still had, we had a 3-year-old, and then my youngest son was just really a newborn.
Wow.
And so it was really like, you know, out of pure, almost some fear, also feeling like I didn't have the community that I needed, because most of my community were in the entertainment industry.
That's right.
And so a lot of my girlfriends, they weren't thinking about husbands.
Right.
Or they didn't want one at the time.
Exactly.
And they definitely weren't thinking about having kids.
So there you are, have a husband, children, and now divorce.
A divorce, yes. So I had all these life experiences that they were just toddling and just dating.
Right.
You know, is the guy going to call me back type of conversations. And I was like into a full-grown adult conversation.
Yes.
And I just had to like up my environment. I had to get new people around me.
Right.
And so I started reaching out first to women that I knew and men that I knew, and just asking them, what women do they know in their lives who are single mothers who, persevered.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that I didn't, stay angry or bitter
That's
or
right.
upset. And I wanted to make sure that I could provide for my kids, be financially secure, and be healthy in mind, body, and spirit.
That's right. That's
And
very
so
important.
I knew that I wasn't necessarily equipped to do it on my own. I didn't have all the skill sets. So definitely I'm a woman of God. So,
Yes.
I had God, I had, my faith. But at the same time, I was like, I need to take some actions to make sure I have a circle around me that gets where I'm at right now.
Right.
Right. And so that was really why it started. And at first it was just a conversation with just really dope women in my life. And as it grew, we were kind of like, maybe we should do something on a bigger scale. How can I bring all these women together?
Right.
Bring a healing to the community, because our work is really about healing and making sure that people are having conversations that are actually creating a transformation.
Yes.
And that they're not living in a world or a mindset of things that actually didn't even happen.
Right.
So a lot of times what we notice within our work with the organization, most of the conversations and the upsets are coming from a place of things that were made up in that person's mind. It's their perception versus like the reality of what's so.
Right.
And so that was a lot of the work that we did. The first event that we ever had, we had 100 moms.
Wow.
It was a luncheon at Maggiano's at the Grove. I think I had 3 sponsors.
Wow.
And, I just was, asking people would they donate, would they give back. Everything was volunteered, everyone that supported the staff. We had counselors on site at each round table.
Wow.
And we had teenagers that shared their experiences of, their father lives 2 blocks away and they've never seen him type of thing. They know that he's there, the father won't come visit. Or you have the mom who is maybe a widow. We even had a mom in there, I think she was probably about 90. And she said, I just had to come and see this. She said, I raised my kids as a single mom, maybe in the 40s or the 50s, right? And she was just like,
there was
I
no
wish we
support.
had something like this.
Right.
Yeah, little Caucasian lady. It was so cute. She's like, I just had to come. And she said, I just love what you guys are doing. This is just a beautiful thing to see. So we had a big age range.
Right.
Of
18
people,
to 90.
18 to 90, and so from there it just continued to grow. It was like the community wanted it. And so I really didn't know what it needed at the time.
Right.
But we did surveys and we did certain conversations to just really figure it out. And it's still a growing process, but at the same time, it has, I think it's definitely made a beautiful impact in the community.
Definitely. And we were talking about that a little bit, what are some of the tools that Single Moms Planet has put in place to help the moms become more successful?
Some of the tools that Single Moms Planet has put in place to help the moms become more successful are definitely just community. I think having a strong community around you.
Yes.
Of women that are supportive and not judgmental.
Right.
And I really just feel like we're just a wealth of knowledge and experience. Just embedding the women with that, embedding them with like, there's someone here that has your back, all the way from a mom who might be sleeping on her mat on the floor. She doesn't have a bed for her kids or a mattress.
Right.
We've had situations like that. And another mom in our community will purchase a mattress for her, or they have an extra bedroom set, because sometimes we don't know, or we don't feel comfortable letting people know our situations because we don't want to feel judged in certain environments. And so I think because it's a mothering environment and it's an environment where most of the women get that they might have been one paycheck away or, one issue or, mishap away from being in that same situation that mother is in. There's just no room for judgment. It's like, how can we step in and help and support? So I think that our community is massively important. And I think that's like one of the number one things that we bring to the table.
Well, the thing that really I found so fascinating about Single Moms Planet is that you address mothers on no matter what level they're on.
Yes.
So, like you said, the mom who may have her child or children and all she has is a mattress, or she may not have even a mattress. It's on a pallet
Right.
in a room that now she's responsible for this other human being alone.
Yes.
You know, and then you have moms who may be very successful, but they don't have a community of people they can talk to. And so what I've noticed about Single Moms Planet is that no matter what level the person is at, you guys have a support system in place that can address that.
Definitely.
Right? Like,
yes.
I just need someone to talk to. And you're like, okay, no problem. Someone, I need a bed for my baby to sleep on, no problem.
Yes.
You know, and the outings that you guys take are phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
And so, like I said, no matter what walk of life,
Yep.
you're attracted to that event because you want your child to participate. Whether you can afford it or not, you want your child to participate, and you guys make sure that they can.
We give it away. We make a
Yes.
way for that to happen.
Exactly.
I would definitely, just to add on to what you're saying about the community, it is really a beautiful thing to experience. I think that people don't really understand until they attend something that we have.
Exactly.
Because you do have the billionaire mom in the room.
That's right.
All the way down to the mom who may need just the community support, the mattress, or just someone just so she can see someone that's made it.
That's made it. That's right.
And that may have come from worse circumstances than her, who didn't give up.
Right.
It took them 10 years, 15 years, but they created $1 million business out of their kitchen.
Right.
You know, and just for them to see that and be in that mixed environment, it's just a beautiful thing, and have access to it.
And have access to that person, to be
That's
able
true.
to walk up to that person and say, I'm standing here, but in 15 years I could be you.
Exactly. Yeah, they have access to
Yes.
amazing women. And the women, you know, it's interesting because we attract single women, women who have never been married, who don't want to get married ever. We attract women who have kids, or their kids are adults. It's really a beautiful mixed bag. We attract married women. We have a lot of married women that come to our events as well. They bring their husbands sometimes. Their husbands volunteer for the organization. And I think it's just because the community is so loving, but it's like a powerful community.
It's true. And you have women who volunteer who may be married but don't have any children.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, we have one that does, one of our mutual friends.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So, Single Moms Planet, how do you feel the community impacts the children? How do the children benefit from it? Because I've seen it, you know, but how would you describe how the children benefit from the organization?
For the children and how they benefit from Single Moms Planet, I really think that we get the children out of their comfort zone.
Yes, you do.
So the experiences that we create for them are really kind of fish out of water experiences. So we have tennis camps that we do with UCLA, and 99% of the children have never experienced tennis.
Right.
And probably another 99% of them have never been on a campus such as UCLA, a college campus. Most people don't go into a college campus until they're looking to go to college.
That's true.
You know, so we have little ones that are from the age of, 5 years old plus that are around the tennis coaches. They're around the students who are coming there to volunteer and to show them how to play. And these are, the top, they're like one of the top, tennis teams in the country. So they're being trained by some really amazing people. So we do things like that. We also work with the Boy Scouts of America. We send the kids to a camping trip for 2 days on Catalina Island.
That's right, yeah.
And they get to go kayaking, paddle boarding, sailing, rowboating, snorkeling. They get to go on nature hikes. They get to learn how to shoot crossbow. I mean, they're having the time of their lives. They're getting campfire stories, and they're right on the water. I mean, it's really beautiful for them to just have the experience. And some moms, even if they can't afford it, just to be able to put all those activities together and have a safe environment for them and their children to be able to experience. Most people don't have the energy or the time for something like that.
Right, because the planning of it
is massive.
Exactly.
Exactly. So we provide the food, we provide everything that's there. And another thing, we do an ice skating event every winter
Yes.
for the kids. We sponsor the kids and the families who can't afford it, and then the ones that are able to afford it, then those fees help us make sure that the moms who don't have are able to go.
Can go, yeah.
And so a lot of the kids, they've never been ice skating before, so they're on those ice skates for the first time, and they're just. We want to give them those nuggets of things that they're like, wow, I played tennis this year. I went ice skating. I went sailing. I was on the campus of UCLA talking to the UCLA coach who actually recruits for, UCLA. And when the kids go through the UCLA program, they're able to actually go to another tennis program that they get a scholarship for at the Riviera Country Club.
Wow.
And that's like an $800 a week program. And so they get to actually get a week at no cost through the organization.
So they can even explore further if this is something they
If they
want
want
to
to do it. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. And and again, like at every level, even if a mother is in a position that, like you said, she can afford to do these things for her child, she may not have the time to plan it.
Exactly.
And then who is going with her, which other children are going to go. So to have a community where it's so beneficial on so many levels is amazing.
Yes, I agree.
Really,
I
really
agree.
amazing. Now, how have you grown as a leader since you've been a part of, and you are the founder of Single Moms Planet? How do you feel you've grown as a leader?
Leadership is an interesting term for me. The more that my ability as a leader grows is when I put other people in leadership role.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, it's like I really work for the people I hire. Really.
That's absolutely
I do.
true.
They
That's
do not
true.
work for me. I mean, they're like, we need this.
Right.
When are you sending this? Did you get this over to us? Can you email me that thing? When are you available? I need to talk to you. I'm like, okay, wait. I think I work for you. I
That's
totally
true.
do. And they help me curate and create the mission and the vision.
Yes.
I'm just like the funnel for like how I think it should go and how I see it going. And then they're the executor of it actually happening. But without me, they can't really execute, right?
Exactly.
So I'm like the glue for the execution of it. And then they get to be a leader in their particular environment. And so I try as hard as possible to get all of them talking to each other.
Right.
The more that I'm out of the loop, like I want to be able to see it from a bird's eye view, but I don't want to micromanage. I never come from a place of like, I know the answers. It's like, I know what I want and I know what it looks like. And I always study before I do a hire.
Okay.
Like I know what you're supposed to do and I know how long it's supposed to take. And I have a certain expectation of excellence that is across the board, the culture of the organization.
Yes.
And at the same time, I still want you to see yourself as a leader.
Right.
I don't want that person to feel like they can't make a decision without me.
And like you said, as much as you can pull yourself out of the equation
It's just better.
and allow them to communicate, it's much better.
Mm-hmm.
It's less, it's more of a precise,
Yes.
they know what you expect and everyone in the room. And the other thing that I love that you do is that you give them that freedom.
Yes.
You give them that freedom to grow. Within the position they have. I think that's the only way that you can lead is to understand that you do actually work for the people you hire.
It's true. It's so true. And I want to be, I want to be gracious with them. I want to be kind to them.
Of course.
Because it's a blessing to have them. And a lot of times, we have a lot of volunteers within our organization or people may be charging us less for certain things because we're a nonprofit. And so I'm always, very aware of that as well. People, even though you hire somebody to do something and they're getting paid to do it, they could choose to do something else. They don't have to do anything, because it's still a choice within the choice, right? So I'm here and I'm doing the job, but what level am I doing it at? Am I being treated well?
Exactly. And please and thank you
Please,
is always
thank you.
appropriate.
Always.
And so now with Single Moms Planet, I remember, I didn't meet you when you first started, but I remember when, I guess Single Moms Planet was maybe a year or so old
Okay.
the first time I interviewed you. And you brought some moms
Oh, yes,
in.
yes.
Remember?
I had other moms with me.
Yes.
Yes.
And I remember, you may not remember this, but I had a conversation with you after the interview, and I was driving home, and you and I were on the phone talking, and you were sharing with me your larger vision
Oh, wow.
for Single Moms
I'm like, what did I
Planet.
say?
But you know, in coming to the events that you've had, you're living out that vision.
I would have to, probably so. I'm like, what did I say?
Well, you
I'm
were just
hoping-
talking about how you wanted to touch not just women locally,
Yes.
but the reason you named it Single Moms Planet was because there's so many women everywhere.
Everywhere.
And
True.
that if you could take this prototype and just place it different places and just make the entire world a better place.
Yes,
And I
definitely.
was like, this is a woman with vision.
Yes, this is true. That sounds like something I would say.
See, I was listening. Now, how have you grown as a parent from
As a
having Single
parent?
Moms Planet? Yeah.
Wow, as a parent, that is a day-to-day, minute-by-minute situation. You know, I have 2 little boys, and my eldest is going to be 13.
Right.
And my little one is going to be 10. And so now a lot of my movement, I feel myself leaning toward their dad a lot more, just for guidance, especially
Absolutely.
as that eldest one is growing into a man. You know, he
Yes.
has a totally different perspective, totally different mindset, you know, than when he was a little guy.
Right.
And so I just try to, I feel like I'm the observer of myself now. Whereas before it was like I'm parenting. Now I'm like, okay, I have to listen to what I say. I have to look at what I do, you know, because my eldest is like, if my mom does something or their
Yes.
dad or even me, you know, he's like, how are you guys asking me to do this and you're not even doing it?
Right.
You know, so he's really tapping into, you know, the bull of life.
That's
You know,
right.
which unfortunately he's going to see that for the rest of his life. We love telling other people to do things, but when it
Right.
comes time for us to do them individually, it's like, what you talking about? Now, don't worry about what I'm doing. Just do what I say, you know. So he's not having that.
No,
He's like, you know, let's all walk the walk and talk the talk.
that's right.
You know,
Because kids do what they see.
They do what
not
they
necessarily
yes.
what you say.
exactly.
So it
exactly.
does. It changes the dynamics to where you gotta say, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Yes,
You know,
it's
let
true.
me look at myself and make sure that I am the person that I want him to be. Right?
Exactly.
Values, morals, things like that.
It can be exhausting sometimes. I'm like, I just need to go to bed. You know, I'm just not gonna say nothing tomorrow. Y'all just do whatever you want. You got it. And I believe that we come back to earth as many times as we choose to. That's my personal belief. So I'm like, the little one, I feel like he's been here about 100 times. I mean. He is like, he has his mind already set on exactly what he is here to do and
That's
how he's going to
amazing.
do it, who he's going to do it with. I mean, it's incredible to listen to him talk. And so I'm like, you know what? Y'all got this. You know, you're just in a little body. You're going
Right.
to grow up in
Just
a
need
minute.
guidance,
Yeah.
right?
And that's why I tell him, I say, look,
Perimeters.
I'm here to guide you into your greatness.
Yes.
I cannot make you anything particular. You
Right.
know, I'm here to guide you. So whatever you need for me to do, I'm here to assist that.
Yes.
Right? So if you have music lessons or you got a baseball game coming up, I make them responsible. I think that's like one of the things I'm really been working on in the last couple of years. It's just like,
Yes.
you are responsible for your own destiny, your own life, and showing them, you know, put it in your calendar. If you want me to come to something at your school, invite me. I need the location, the date, the time. What do I need to bring? What time do you need to get there?
Yes.
If you do not present it to me in that way, I'm not coming.
Right.
And so my little one from 8 years old plus, he's like, writes it down on a notepad. He's like, Mom, I need you to be here at this time. This is the place. This is the location.
This is what I need you to do.
Because they wanted to blame everything in life on me.
That's right.
You didn't show up. I didn't get to go to that thing. I missed this birthday party or all these things. And I'm like, okay, wait, you guys have a schedule, but I do too.
That's right.
So you have to be responsible. But it's one thing to say, hey, little one, be responsible. You have to give them the responsibility,
Right.
and let them
the
lead in
tools
that, and the tools to do
to
it.
do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100% because I think sometimes as parents, the child gets to 18 and we're like, why is he irresponsible? Like, why doesn't she know what to do?
Right.
And you haven't given them the tools nor the responsibility
Yes.
to equip them to go out into the world and do the things that's going to make them successful.
It's true.
And when you start at 18, it makes it harder.
It's almost too late.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now that brings up a good point because another thing that I saw from your website and just listening to you talk is that I don't think people understand what an impact single moms have on the world because of the statistics of how many single moms there are.
Right.
And I've heard you say this before, so I want you to tell us the statistics on how, like what percentage of society are single moms?
Well, I know globally there are 320 million single parents.
Wow.
And those are the numbers that we know of, right?
Right.
So it's probably more than that.
Probably more, yeah.
And 4 out of 10 are being raised. So 4 out of 10 children are being raised by a single mother. So out of that 320 million single parents, 4 out of 10 children are being raised in a single parent household.
So that's like a third.
That's like a third, yes.
Wow.
And so it's quite a bit. And then a lot of them times you have a mother who, let's say she has a 15-year-old, and then she gets married again.
Yes.
And so she may have experienced single motherhood. There's a lot of women who experienced it. They get remarried, and then they're coupled up again. And then sometimes those work out, and sometimes those don't as well. So she may be a single mother twice over.
That's very true.
Or she's just a married woman who experienced the single mother experience, right? And so there is quite a bit. I mean, in one room alone, if you're in a room of 10 people, more than likely 4 of them were raised by a single mother. That's probably a good way to look at it.
Right.
That was their experience.
Number.
Regardless of if the mother may have, had 2 to 5 years, maybe that child's first 5 years, and then she got married. But a lot of women have definitely had the experience in some way, shape, or form. Definitely.
Wow. So when you're as an adult, there's a one third of a chance or a 1 in 3 chance that you could date someone who was raised by a single parent.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Marry someone who was raised by a single parent. So single parents are very important.
They're very important. Or your son or your daughter.
Or your daughter, that's
they
right.
may marry or, have a relationship or some type of interaction with someone that was raised by a single parent.
Right.
And so that's why it's not really an individual I think almost a command to acknowledge that the support is needed.
Definitely.
We want to make sure that they're, living in an environment that's safe and clean. We want to make sure that they're getting properly educated as well.
Right.
That the children aren't getting subpar education maybe because the mother can't afford to live in a particular high-end area.
Right.
Because we know, unfortunately, especially in America, if you don't live in a particular area, the education system is also going to be lower depending upon your zip code.
Yes.
And so it all reflects on everyone.
That's right.
It's really it's no division of like, oh, that doesn't affect my family, or that has nothing to do with me. Well,
right.
It really does.
It really does. Because if you aren't a single parent, or if you weren't raised by a single parent, people and you're interacting with those who have either experienced being raised by someone who is a single parent, or being a single parent themselves.
And I think aren't we at about a 50% divorce rate right now?
50%.
So
that's right.
even just having the knowledge of how to communicate with friends or family members that are going through a divorce or going through a single parent, experience is huge.
That's very true.
Even if your family's never had it, you may need to be that support for someone that's going through it.
That's very true.
And just being there for them. Even if they say they don't need it, they do. They need their lawn mowed. They need groceries just dropped off on the front door, or go take their baby for a walk. Go take the kids to the park. Get her a gift certificate to the spa and make sure she goes.
Right.
She'll just have gift certificates in her drawer. I
I've
know
been
I
there.
have a couple of them.
Exactly. Yes, I have a few now.
Make sure she actually physically goes
That's
there,
right.
you know. So just being a support system, even if it's not you having that experience, but
Right.
just being aware and knowing it, you know. Yeah, I think it's important.
That's very true. That's very true. Now, what's on the horizon for Single Moms Planet? What are you up to?
What are we up to? Wow. So we are up to some really amazing things. For 2020, we're, you know, we've been developing our board. We've been doing a
Yes.
lot of the board development, having a lot of meetings, having a lot of conversations about what we want and how we see it moving forward. And so right now we're rolling out our financial empowerment and financial
That's
wellness
amazing. Yes.
for 2020. We're going to be
Yes.
doing right now we're definitely doing 2 events in Los Angeles. One's going to be at the end of January. The other one's going to be at the end of September. We're going to do an online financial wellness summit, and we're
That's
going to be
amazing.
bringing in other organizations and institutions to put that on, so we can have these conversations, you know, globally,
Yeah.
so that anyone can gain access to it. We're also going to be doing our Single Moms Award Show. So we do that every year.
Every
That's going to be
year.
in May. So that's May 7th, 2020. And we're going to be honoring some powerful, you know, women, organizations, businesses that really just impact the community, especially in the world of finances and single motherhood and just, entrepreneurship, all those really
Right.
great things.
Now, I've attended
The
that
Single Moms
event.
Awards?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
It's a great event.
Yes, it is. And I love the fact that you have all these powerful women who can get up and talk about their road to success as a single mom. You know,
Yes.
and then you don't leave the men out, and that's what I
No,
love about
no,
it
we
too. Is like there's
don't.
all these guys who show up who are the wives of women. You know,
The
they're
husbands,
not the
uh-huh,
husbands of some of the women who volunteer, and they wind up volunteering also.
They do.
So it's
They
a
do.
great event.
Yes, we actually do a Man of the Year award every year. And
Yes.
so we love that. It was kind of controversial because everyone was like, "Oh, men always have something," but there are so many amazing men that really support the community and that
Yes.
support the organization just out of the kindness of their heart, and we want to acknowledge that. And we
Absolutely.
also don't want anyone to feel like men can't participate. It's like we're a nonprofit organization, so we need the support of men. We need the support of the
That's
community.
right.
We don't want to create an environment where for some women the father is absentee, and then we create an organization where men are absentee.
Right.
You know, so that doesn't make any sense at all. Not for who we are and what we stand for as an organization. So
Right.
and we're raising men.
That's what I was gonna say. You're
So,
raising men,
yes.
so of course you want men in the room,
Right. So we want their voice. We
That's
want
right.
their substance. We want it to be heard. We want it to be felt, and we want them to be seen.
Exactly.
You know, we want people to say, "Oh wow, we have some athletes that get involved that are with the Chargers and the Lakers." You know, we're really really excited about all those relationships, and the LA Rams. They've been really supportive with us as well.
That's the type of support that I'm talking about. That's the type of support that is needed. And for you to come up with the concept of creating a support system for women who are in a situation where they're raising children, in some cases by themselves, but not necessarily. But to have that support on every level is amazing.
Yes,
It really is.
Yes,
Yeah, and I
yes.
love your awards. Like, they're so nice and they're
Oh,
so
thank
you
you.
a reason to get dressed up and look pretty and stand in front of a,
Yes,
and then
yes.
absolutely to support financially and all of that. It's a great event.
Yes, one of my main things that I definitely have been focusing on this year is just really, I want us to be a large organization. I want us to be financially, a powerhouse as an organization. And I just really just been studying. I really just took the responsibility of I need to really learn even more about finance. I really need to learn about fundraising. I need to learn about how to have those conversations, how to ask for money and not be
Yes.
afraid to, how to get people involved, not just conversationally, but also having them invest in what we're doing.
That's right.
It's like, put your money where your mouth is. It's like, I appreciate your hands and I appreciate your volunteerism, but we also need the dollar in order
That's
for us to
right.
move the needle in the way we want to move the needle.
Yes.
Right, and really make that impact. And so that's what we've been really pushing this year. And so, I'm excited about next year. Yeah,
That's good.
I really am. I'm a little scared, but I think that's good. If I'm not scared, then I'm probably dead under a rock somewhere. So.
You move through the fear, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like I like creating things I'm afraid of. It's fun.
Now, podcast.
Okay.
What's up? The podcast.
Did I say I was going to do a podcast?
Uh-huh. You sure did. So
Ah.
I am going to hold you to it.
Oh my goodness. You know what? We talked about a podcast.
Mhm.
We did.
Yes, we did.
And then we also talked about internally. We taped some episodes.
Yes.
Of some shows, but they're not podcasts, they're video. But they
Okay.
can be turned into podcasts.
Yes.
So we interviewed about 5 women so far. And we want it to be something that we either do monthly or weekly. I prefer it to be weekly, but
Yes.
I'm thinking even if we can knock out 12 for 2020, that would
That
be
would
a great start.
That's right.
You gotta start somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really what we're doing. So we're interviewing single moms that are in the entertainment sector,
Yes.
and they're sharing their single mom stories.
Okay.
And they're kind of, some of them have domestic violence, some of them have, they're on TV, and they have all these different really, great nuggets about life and children and raising children in the limelight and having, just think all of the stuff that we go through, but it being in the public eye, or
Right.
being broadcast on TMZ.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're still pushing forward with that, but that's a good reminder for me. I know I'm like, what did I say?
But the episodes, you can turn them into podcasts. But we can talk about that
we can talk
later.
about that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So the reason I'm saying that is because, podcasts, they stretch far and wide.
True.
And you can pick up a podcast from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have it documented on more than one platform is going to be great, because Single Moms Planet should never be limited anywhere. It should be
agree.
everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a good cause, and you've built such a wonderful infrastructure.
Oh, thank you.
You really have. Now, you have this huge fundraiser. I don't want to get past that. You mentioned it a little bit, but you have this huge fundraiser that you do in May.
Yes.
And it's an awards event. And so how can people help with that? Money, this is a great platform to ask for it,
Mm-hmm.
and so tell us how we can get involved in that, on what levels we can get involved with your fundraiser that comes up in May.
Definitely. So yes, our Single Moms Awards is definitely our largest fundraiser of the year. With this event, we're going to be having about 200 people in attendance. It'll be a sit-down gala dinner.
Yes.
And so we're really excited about that. But definitely sponsorship. We're always looking for investors in the event or sponsors. And it's a great, the room is, the people in the room are
Yes.
phenomenal. I
Yes.
think I go to a lot of galas. I go to a lot of events and lunches and brunches. I have never seen the rooms that we put together. I haven't seen events that put rooms together like that.
That's very true.
From the cultural diversity, different ethnicities, people from flying in from, Thailand and Australia, Europe. People are from all over the world.
You had a
coming
princess
to this
there
event.
last
We had
year.
a princess there. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, it's, we just honored Elon Musk's sister, Tosca Musk, who, she has her own production company called Passion Flicks. And so, just people are not playing around in our rooms.
That's right.
And so I think, just it's an environment where you want to be. I think if you're a business owner, you want to be in the environment.
Yes.
All the way from entertainment to business to, princesses,
Right.
different things like that. The fashion industry is there.
Yes.
So definitely sponsorship. You can buy ads in our program to advertise your business or your company. You can also, sponsor the entire event and be the primary sponsor of the event, the title sponsor. It could be presented by your company. And so, we're really excited about it. But on our website, there's different ways that people can contact us to learn
Yes.
more about the event at singlemomsplanet.org. And we actually have a button up there that says Single Moms Awards.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wait for the awards to donate. You can
No.
donate on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. This is an amazing cause. And,
Thank you.
And it helps who shouldn't help mothers?
I know.
Everyone at some point in their life
Yes.
had one, right?
Yes, everyone had one.
had one, right? Or they wouldn't be here.
They wouldn't be here.
What are some of the common myths about single moms, do you think?
I think a common myth about single moms is that they're broke.
Yes.
And or broken.
Yes.
They're, or they did this to themselves.
Right.
Shame on them type of thing. And it's like, I don't really know where that, I think that the media in the television and film industry, depicts this imagery of what a single mother is, and it's just not that. Right. First of all, there's a lot of women that are doing single mother by choice.
That's very
And
true.
there's also quite a few women in our organization that are adopting children on their own.
Yes.
They don't want to have a husband. There's a lot of women who don't want a husband. Everyone, not that they don't dislike men, they just are like, I don't need that. I just want my kids, or I just want to adopt kids, And so it's one of those things where I think it's just a lot of negative commentary around it. I also think another stigma or a conversation around it is that it's a black and brown issue.
Right.
There are actually, especially in the U.S., sometimes there's more white or Caucasian mothers at our events that are single mothers than there are in the ethnic world, which is interesting. So if you come to our events, you might see, 70% Caucasian, 15 or 20% African American, and then you have your Asian, you have your Hispanic. There's like a really beautiful mixture.
Right.
And so I think just culturally, because of what we've seen on television, people instantly think, that's a black, welfare single mother who let all the, let different baby daddies and people knock her up.
Right.
And it's like, that is not it. And through my studies, most of the women in our organizations that are single mothers, most of them only have one kid.
Right. It's not multiple children.
It's not.
Right.
Yes, it's actually interesting when you actually know the women and you do the data. They have one kid, or they had one husband, and they had the 2 kids or the 3 kids with that one husband or that one person. Right. And of course you have all the different stories that come about, but the way that it's being communicated is not. It's not what's really going on.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to get that out there because you're right, and we for too long have portrayed mothers that are single in a way that's not flattering. And yes, there are some mothers who are struggling, and I don't want to discount them at all.
Of course.
Because everyone has had their struggle in their time usually, but that's not every mother.
No.
And,
not at all.
And I don't know anyone who wants to stay down.
No,
So to
don't.
be able to lend a hand to the one who wants to be raised, or support the one who is already there, so that she has someone to talk to, is what I see Single Moms Planet doing.
Definitely. Definitely. And we love it. We love communicating with the women from the different cultures and the backgrounds and the different stories of how they became a single mom, or why they became a single mom. We have, in one room, you'll have a mom who adopted, a mom who, had in vitro fertilization, a mom who, she's
married,
she's
divorced,
a widow, divorced. One who's like, I don't know the father's gone. We never saw him again. Just like a mixed bag. Or a teen mom, when her kids are grown. All in one spot.
That's right.
And she's like doing her thing, and she's dope.
That's right, because that's Single Moms
Planet.
Neferteri, I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And bringing more enlightenment to Single Moms Planet. You have to promise me you'll come back.
Of course, anytime.
And we'll definitely, when it's time for your awards, we'll put that up on our website. So that people will know to donate and how they can donate, and link it to your website.
Maybe you could do a live media.
We can do a live media.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love it.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. And we've had Single Moms Planet here with us today. I hope you learned something. And most of all, I hope you decide to donate to this worthy cause. I'm Charlene, and this is Girl Talk.